just finished radiation, and so today was the first one of my booster, and it went really well. It was pretty fast. I mean, a little longer than I think it will take later, like tomorrow, just because since it was the first one, the doctor had to come in and check, make sure everything was correct. And it's just like, you know, it is in the same room. I thought it would be in a different room, but it's the same room, and it's just the machine is like set up differently, and instead of like this big thing like rotating all around, it's already like in position, and it has a special head on it that's like the outline of the area and custom made for me. And so I had to do like 3 breath holds for about 10 to 15 seconds each, and then that was it. And the machine didn't move. Like normally it's like it moves to all these different spots, and it kind of takes a long time. Not that long, but it went really fast. And then he drew on me because my mark had come off from it since last week, and he said that every day he'll like touch it up, the marking, and like just try not to wash it off completely. Like as long as there's like a little bit, then he'll be able to like touch it up, because I only have 5 more. But that means I don't have any stickers on me. I was able to take them off yesterday, and it was so nice because I've had stickers on me for 2 months. Like they've replaced them as they go, as they get like older, but like, ugh, it's just gross, and I just don't like it. But I took all 8 stickers off yesterday morning, like after radiation, and then in the shower when I got home, I was able to like scrub, like really lightly, because I have to be careful, like scrub the residue, because they're like super sticky. But I'm so glad I don't have sticker. I still have marker on me, but it's way better than having stickers on me. I just did not like that. Although I am thankful it's not the tattoos, because that's what they used to do even up to just a couple years ago, and some places still do that. They do like these tattoos that you have with you for years, and there's little tiny dots, but still, you know, that's way more permanent than just having stickers on you, so I'm thankful for that. Anyway, it went really good. My skin's looking raw. It hasn't been hurting me as much, so that's nice. And I've been using like the ointments and everything they gave me, and all the stuff I bought. I even bought like a new tube. It was like $54 for like a tube of lotion. Expensive. Like I would never spend that much on like lotion, but this is like way different. Traffic has been amazing. Like this last week, like the first week of radiation, it was like great. Then the next 4 weeks, it was awful. Like every day there's a traffic jam somewhere, and like 23 is backed up. But since Friday, so Friday, Monday, and now Tuesday, it's been like, I get here like super fast, and it's just like super easy. And so I don't know what changed, but I'm still leaving early enough because I don't want to like get stuck in something, or, you know, be late because I decided to stay home longer or something. But anyways, that's been wonderful. Okay. What are you doing? That's talent. Alright, so big day today. Today is Thursday, the 4th, I think. And I am getting ready to go into radiation. Then after radiation, I'm gonna walk right to the main hospital and go to the basement, and I'm gonna get an injection in my arm that has like those radioactive stuff, like dye in it, and then that takes a couple hours to like process, and then I'm gonna come back at 1 for a bone scan, and then right after that at 2:30 I have a CT, and I think if it's the same one as last time, I have to drink like 2 bottles of this really gross chalky stuff. So gross. And then I have a meeting with my radiation oncologist at 4:55. So long day, 5 appointments today. It's gonna be a busy day, but I'm very happy to have these scans done because I haven't had them done since February. I got these scans done right at the beginning, right before I started chemotherapy, and this is just kind of like end of treatment, just to kind of look and make sure all the cancer is gone and that there's nothing new. I think I've mentioned before, but when I had those scans done, there was one little suspicious spot on my hip bone, and my doctor was not concerned at the time at all. but she does just want to make sure that that spot is gone, that it was just like a fluke, or if it was anything serious, that it's gone. And so that's not right now, that doesn't really bother me, like I don't think about it, but it will just be good peace of mind to have a clear scan, you know. And I really think it will give me a lot of peace and closure to this whole process. So it's kind of nice that we're doing it today, and then, you know, Monday I finish radiation and we should have the results from these scans by then, I would assume. I don't think they took very long at all last time. Like they were like actually less than 24 hours before they're in my portal. But you know, just kind of wrapping everything up. And so Paul is gonna be with me for the other, like my last 3 appointments. I'm gonna go home and get him, and come back up here. But yeah, so looking forward to having this done and finalized. Friday the 5th, and yesterday I had all of my scans. I'm getting ready to go on radiation, my second to last one, but I wanted to explain some of the scans I had done yesterday. So my first appointment, I had radiation. My first appointment was at 9, and I had an injection in like my arm, like in my vein here, and of radioactive tracers, and it takes a couple hours for it to, like, you know, go through your body or whatever, and the only thing they told me to do was like make sure I drink water. So that was pretty quick. It just took me a minute to get there. It was like in the basement in the nuclear medicine section of the hospital. So I got that done pretty quick, pretty simple. Then I did a couple errands, and then I went and picked Paul up from home, and then we came back to the hospital. I went back to the same spot in the basement, and I had my bone scan. And so with the bone scan, that's why I got the injection. It's like I'm laying on this machine, and then it, like, this big part of the machine, the scanner gets like as far away from your nose, like on top of you, and they're like, it's not gonna touch you. I'm like, okay. I got really, really close, and I've had this done before. And then it really slowly, like, the thing you're laying on moves away, and it takes like 15 minutes for it to like scan your whole body. And so it just like you're slowly like sliding out from underneath that like big thing that was on your face, and like the part that thing is over is like what it's scanning. And then there was like, yeah, so that took about 15-20 minutes, and then there was another part that took 5 minutes, like another part of the scan of my head. Like I just had to like face the machine, and then it like scanned my like brain and skull and stuff for 5 minutes. Then they told me, which is kind of nerve-wracking, they're like, okay, we're gonna show these to the doctor, and then if he wants to do a 3rd scan, we'll do that. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, yep, he wants to do a 3rd 3D scan. So I'm like, oh, why? You know, I didn't ask that, but it's just a little nerve-wracking, like having to get like you know, because like maybe it's like they think something wasn't good or something like that. So then the 3rd scan was just on a different machine. It was a 3D bone scan. Basically, you're still laying this, so my arms are above my head, and 2 like plates kind of rotate around you. And they said it wasn't gonna touch me, but it totally did touch like my elbow. And it was like, I kept like hitting my elbow. It didn't hurt, but I was like, didn't want this huge machine, so I moved, and they came and they're like, please don't move, and I'm like, it's touching me. But then they're like, I'm sorry, and they're like, fix it. So that took 15-20 minutes for it to like rotate around you, like 2 square discs, not discs, 2 square things that like went around you. And then I went back to the waiting room and got Paul, and we went to another reception area in the basement for my CT scan, checked in, and then I was really glad Paul was there. And because last time I drank like 2 bottles of barium, I don't remember what it's called, some kind of gross thing. It's like really chalky. And last time I drank 1 in the waiting room and then 1 in the locker room, and this time she had me drink both in the locker room, so like I wasn't even with Paul, but I was still really glad he was there. So last time I drank mocha and it was gross. So this time I asked the lady and she said mocha and berry are the popular. So I got berry. It was still gross. And it's just hard to like, so it's like really big, but almost like a liter. Maybe, I don't know. And you drink in a half hour. And then I had a second one. I had to like start at 3. So I got my first one like 2:34. Drank that, and then at 3 I had to start the next one. And I almost finished the second one. I had a little bit left, but she said it was fine. And then I did that all in the dressing room. I actually didn't need to undress because my pants didn't have any buckles, and I had a short sleeve shirt on under my sweater yesterday, so I was actually able just to keep that on and like do the scan and that. And I also got an IV, and they like while I was drinking this stuff, they did an IV and just like got it set up. And then when they sent me to the scan room, the CT scan, you lay down, you put your arms above your head, they inject a contrast in your IV. And like first they do, and then like this thing, like you go into the machine, it like spins, and you just kind of see like something spinning it through like a clear glass. It's kind of loud. It wasn't like super loud. And they have you hold your breath for parts of it. And then they inject the dye, and the dye makes you feel like you're urinating yourself, like for real. It's so weird. Like even though she told me like the first time I had it done in February, it like felt even more, and this time it also felt like that. But they tell you, you're gonna feel like you're peeing yourself, but you're not. But it's like you're like, are you sure? It was also weird. Like I felt like urinating, and like where you would urinate from, but then also like under my ribs felt really tingly too. Like right where my radiation burns are. I thought that was interesting. Okay, yeah, and then that was done. So, so far we have got some results back, and everything's good so far. We're still waiting on some others, and I'll probably just wait to like explain it all in a different segment, just because I want to have all the information. But so far, like, everything looks good. There's a couple things that are concerning, but they're not like cancer related, so it's really, really good news. So that's where we're at today. I'm gonna go into radiation right now, and then it's Friday, and Abby has a doctor appointment in Plymouth, and so Lisa's gonna drive her there, and I'm gonna meet him in the parking garage and then take her to her doctor's appointment because I couldn't move the time. It wasn't working. Yeah, so that's it. Radiation. Today is actually Tuesday, so I finished radiation yesterday. Just didn't really have a minute to record a video. So, pretty normal last radiation, except I've never had to wait more than like 10 minutes maybe to like between like changing and getting on the radiation table. And I think I waited like a half hour or longer. Something was going on. I don't know if the machine broke down or something like that, but it just took a really long time. And they came in the waiting room and they're like, we didn't forget about you. We're just gonna be another 15 minutes. And so Paul did go with me yesterday to my last radiation appointment, and we dropped off frocks that I had painted, and we prayed together. And then he went in with me. I had waited a long time in the back waiting room where I was like changed in my gown. Radiation was super fast as normal, and then had to like check out the doctors real quick, make sure all my like post appointments were set up and they were all fine. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ring that bell. So I got Paul, and I got to ring the bell, signaling that I'm all done with this last, hopefully last set of treatments. And it was good. I was really happy. I wore my Survivor shirt. And then afterwards, Paul and I went out for brunch. We did that a lot, going out to brunch, like every chemo, and so it was just kind of like a fun celebratory brunch date. Yeah, so it's good. I'm so happy to be done today. Right now, this morning I took Charlotte to like her 3-year checkup. She's totally healthy, and then I dropped her back off at home, and then now I am at the hospital again to get my Herceptin injection. that I get every 3 weeks. So I'm doing good. There's one thing kind of overshadowing like being 100% excited for being done with radiation, and it's kind of unfortunate, but you know, I had my CT on Thursday and bone scan, and we got results coming in, and everything is like good. There's a couple little things, but like nothing cancer related. Like we definitely know that cancer hasn't spread, but then like the last section of my chest CT indicated something's just kind of confusing and not clear, and so we haven't heard from our doctors, which is frustrating. We called and messaged, and we, you know, got something back like, oh well, we're gonna set up something Wednesday afternoon. Yes, that does sound confusing, but it's like no clarity on it, and something has been set up for tomorrow, and so that is frustrating. I'm hoping to get a call like today again. So before we want to like just go crazy and celebrate, we just want some clarity, because we're not doctors, we don't understand, and the wording is weird. I even did have Dr. Benson-Haver take a look at it, and she couldn't see the images, but she could just like see the wording, and she thought I wasn't clear as well. It's kind of making it sound like some of the tumors are smaller but not gone, which is just confusing because I thought chemo killed it all and that surgery got it all, and we just need like clarity on that. Make sure that I don't have any more tumors in my chest. So pray for that, please, because we really just want a clear, cancer-free body so that we can move on and not have anything questioned. You know, not have any questions and just be good. So I'm doing good. Like on Saturday, both Paul and I were like pretty down about it and like just figure everything out. But now I'm good. Like whatever it is, we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna keep trucking along, fighting whatever this is. And yes, but other than that, done with radiation, so happy, and looking forward to this weekend going to Florida. So yeah, I will do a video about the results of the CT, because we're gonna update everyone on that. So yeah, thank you all.